Alright all, I want to welcome you guys back to some more of the Great Ace Attorney 2. We made it pretty far, guys, and right now we're here trying to defend good old Von Zeeks. And it's still going, this trial. Going on strong, in fact, and we're still got a long ways to go before we come anywhere near to helping out our rival. I was going to say good friend, but we're still a ways away, guys, but we're going to continue on. So if anything else, I hope you all continue to enjoy watching. Let's keep it rolling. Alright, guys, and we are back. The witness's account. We saw the whole thing from start to finish, we did. Everything from the moment they went in the building. It was less than a minute after the Reaper had gone inside that we all heard a big bang. Seems to me that quick to talk is quick to walk. Gossip couldn't wait to go see what had happened. I ran into the room and there he was, the Reaper, gun in hand, staring over the dead body. I was scared half to death, me, so I ran off to find a copper. If these witnesses were there the whole day and saw everything, who did they see going inside the building? Only the victim, Inspector Gregson, and the accused, Barrack Von Zeeks. I've seen pictures of that Reaper in the paper. I know what he looks like. And just between us, folk love stories like this. I've made myself a tidy sum already. But wait! The room was just one of several flats in the building. Someone from another flat could have done it. After all, those flats on Fresno Street are unoccupied. Of course they are. They're small, damp, dirty, and expensive to boot. The room in which the inspector was found is the only property in the building that's currently leased. And we know the leaseholder's name, don't we? It's Hugh Boone. The testimony the court has just heard would appear to leave little room for doubt. It's becoming increasingly difficult to see how anyone other than the defendant could have committed the crime. No! Thank you for your candor, my lord. Counsel for the defense, you may proceed to cross-examine the witnesses. Yes, my lord. In a closed court like this without a jury, the judge is the only person whose opinion matters. I have to break down this testimony, somehow. We saw the whole thing from start to finish, we did. Everything from the moment they went in the building. Alright? Hold it! When you say they, who do you mean exactly? Inspector Gregson and the defendant, Lord Van Zeeks? I suppose so. The likes of Oos don't know the names of the high and mighty. But I'll tell you one thing. It was the old Reaper that went in last, that's for sure and certain. Just behind Inspector Gregson. Did they arrive at the same time as each other? No, not at all. The first fella must have gotten inside a good 15 minutes before we heard that gunshot. The victim arrived 15 minutes before. Are you sure about that? Am I sure? Am I sure? Does it seem likely that I've forgotten a fella with bright red hair like that, does it? Yeah, his hair really were red, weren't it? Redder than my flaming fireworks even. That fiery red mop still burnt on the inside of my eyelids, it is. Wait a minute. You say something? You saying the man was a redhead? Weren't you listening, chum? Aye, he was a redhead, and he had a big trunk with him as well. But Inspector Gregson's hair isn't red, not by any stretch of the imagination. It seems likely that the person you saw wasn't in fact Inspector Gregson at all, but some other third party. No, I hate to break it to you, but the witnesses are correct. What? Just have a look at this photograph of the victim taken at the scene. Yes, that's Inspector Gregson, alright. And a red hairpiece. Ah, of course! We saw one on the floor when we investigated the scene, didn't we? I still refuse to believe Inspector Gregson wore a hairpiece, though. So then why on earth would he have been wearing something like that? The color does seem to suit the man, one might say. He would never wear that, though. I'm pretty sure someone put that on him. The photograph will be submitted as evidence. Please, counsel. Alright, now we have that as evidence to look forward to. And what became of the trunk that the red-headed victim was supposedly carrying? I was informed that no trunk was found at the scene. So it just disappeared. What? Do you expect us to have been watching the building every second, do you? We definitely saw him in the dock going in, though. No question about that. It was less than a minute after the Reaper had got inside that we all heard a big bang. Seems to me that quick to talk is quick to walk. Gossip couldn't wait to go and see what had happened. I ran to the room and there he was, the Reaper, gun in hand, standing over the dead body. Really? Hold it! So then you were the first person to arrive on the scene, is that right? That I was. Kicked the door open like a professional I did and yelled out, "What's going off here?" Lord Van Zieks claims all he heard was a man scream though. Was it dark inside the room? No, not dark at all. There were candles burning on the wall. Really? And there was a fella collapsed on the floor. Just between us, it's the first thing I noticed when I got inside. Ah, I see. Even though Lord Van Zieks claims not to have seen any such lights on the wall. The next thing I noticed was someone standing right beside the body. The accused, Barak Van Zieks. That's right, the pale-faced Reaper himself. I was a little shocked, I won't deny it, but I'm no lily-livered coward. I stood my ground, gave that Reaper a cold hard stare myself. Is that so, brother? Okay. How about you, dude? What do you have to say? Excuse me! Do you have something to add, Mr. Sandwich? There's really nothing wrong with me. Empty in the head I am, just 2 slices with no middle. So I don't know what you want with me. I think that maybe you just remembered something. Having heard Mr. Gossip's last statement, I mean. What I think is, we're all nothings really. We try to dress ourselves up as something else, but at the end of the day, we're all just street sellers. That's enough out of you, Sandwich. Keep your trap shut now. Unless you want us to make you into a real sandwich. When he saw the Reaper, he fell clean over on his backside. That's it? Oh, you rotten beggar. I told you to keep that a secret. He screamed, he did. Screamed and scrambled off on all 4s. That's all I wanted to say. Mr. Gossip, is this true? The floor was dead slippery, that's why. Planted my hand in a filthy pool of blood, didn't I? Yuck. What? A pool of blood? But listen here. Even when I was sprawled on the floor, I still kept giving that Reaper a cold hard stare, and don't you forget it. Let's just go back a little. Did you say you got blood on your hand? I did. Happens to the best of us at times, doesn't it? So I was scared, so I slipped over. We can keep it a secret just between us, can't we? No, Mr. Gossip, I'm gonna have to ask you to add that information to your formal testimony. Oh, if I must. The witness will amend his testimony to include the aforementioned details at once. I slipped over and got blood on my hand, so I quickly wiped it off on the floor. I was scared after death me, so I ran off to find a copper. If I can't find any holes in this testimony, I'm afraid the judge will give a ruling guilty, Mr. Naruhodo. The truth is, though, their combined testimony is fairly damning. Unfortunately, there don't seem to be any obvious problems with their statements, do there? Still, if Lord Van Zieks really is innocent, then I'm almost certain that we'll find something in there that doesn't quite add up. You don't think that one of these 3 could be the true culprit, do you? I don't know. But what I do know is that there's more to this case that has yet to be brought to light. I need to go through some items here. Let's check some stuff here. Oh, what's this? Mr. Naruhodo, look! Oh yes, it's a smudge of some kind, in fact. It looks just like a handprint. The color. That's blood, isn't it? Oh dear, how disturbing. Alright, so we found blood on the notice board. Okay, we can present this now. Objection! So you wiped off the blood from your hand on the floor of the room. Are you quite sure about that? Well, what else do you expect me to have done, huh? Does it really matter?
Objection!
The police found no such handprint on the floor during their investigations.
Objection!
What exactly is the defense? If you listen, you'll find out, Prosecutor Asugi. Certainly, there was no bloody handprint found on the floor. What are you trying to say? There was a handprint in blood left very clearly at the scene. On the back of this notice board. Yes indeed, indisputably a handprint in the distinctive color of blood. You're dead right. That's my right hand. I'd know it anywhere.
Objection!
The witness very definitely testified that he wiped his hand on the floor. Any handprints on the back of the board are irrelevant.
Objection!
Not if the board itself had fallen over onto the floor. In that case, it's quite possible for the witness's handprint to have ended up there. Just look at the floor plan of the room. The notice board was in the opposite corner of the room to the victim and in the upright position. Even if it had somehow been toppled and was lying on the floor at the time, it would have been a considerable distance from the body. I fell over when I came across the body, so I was basically right next to the corpse, and on the other side of the room. In other words, the defense assertion is contradictory. Yes, it is. There's very definite contradiction here, for which there must be a reason. I take it that you've formulated a proper hypothesis, counsel? Regarding this apparent discrepancy between the witness's account and the handprint found at the scene? I have, my lord. This discrepancy between the witness's account and the location of the handprint is explained by another handprint, the board moving, or false testimony. It's the board moving. The real contradiction here is the handprint itself, not where it was found. As the court can see, it's upside down. Good gracious, so it is. If the witness had put his hand against the board, the finger should be pointing upwards. What does that tell us? It tells one simple fact. When this handprint was made, the board must have been lying on the floor as I previously suggested, which means that after the incident, it must have been moved. What?
Objection!
You're claiming that somebody moved the notice board after the shooting? Then tell the court who. I don't know that yet, but the point is, when you consider all the testimony we've heard so far, we can now be very clear on one point. And that would be the position of the notice board at the time of the incident, my lord. So, counsel, I must ask you to clarify your assertion for the court. At the time of the incident, where do you maintain the notice board was situated? Oh, they gave me a chance to finally, place where I believe it should be. I should be right near the corpse, if anything.
Take that!
This is the only possible location. Immediately adjacent to the doorway? If the court would think back to the testimony given by the defendant earlier, he said that when he entered the room it was dark and he couldn't see the body. Pях! If the notice board had been here, the body would have been completely hidden from view, and the light from the candles would have been blocked, making the room appear dark.
Objection!
But the accused also claims that the victim's body simply appeared before him. That's true, or in the precise words, just as I picked the firearm up to examine it, the door flew open and I heard the man scream. It was only then that the body of Inspector Grigson appeared before me. I don't know about calling it a scream, but he was talking about me and no mistake. Because it was me that kicked the door open. If you look again at the floor plan, consider what would happen if the door to the room was thrown open with force. That can't happen. The door struck the notice board, knocking it over and making the victim's body visible. Good gracious! My client has told nothing but the truth. He has simply described what he saw. Ah. Order, counsel. How has this not come out to light before now? After the incident, somebody must have righted the board and moved it into the position where the police, myself, and my colleagues saw when investigating the room. Witness, what have you to say for yourself? What? My lord! You and your fellows were there at the scene before anybody else. It goes without saying that you must know something about the position of the notice board. The witnesses in the stand will testify again. You will each explain exactly what you did upon arriving at the scene of the crime. Stop looking over your glasses at me. I get the message. Mystery of the moving board. I don't know anything about that there notice board. I just wiped my hand on it, that's all. Well, don't look at me. I haven't got a clue about it. I was doing business with some second years at the time. I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander. Me, just signed at the crossbar of life. It was the Reaper, I bet. He got a face that screams bored. I can't see how this changes anything anyway. The detective still died when we heard the gunshot. So none of you can elaborate further. Shaken by the crime they witnessed and with only the light of the few candles with an oil lamp I wish to see. We can't expect these witnesses to be able to give a more precise account of what happened. That's right, yeah. It don't pay to expect too much. It's man's endless quest for knowledge that's destroying the world. That's what I think. Do you? Really? In any case, as this testimony shows, even if the notice board was moved by somebody following the incident, it makes no difference. When the gunshot rang out, the accused was the only person at the scene. In short, the only person who could possibly have committed this crime is Barrack von Zietz. None of this wrangling over the board changes that simple fact. Quite so, quite so. Does the defense still wish to cross-examine the witness despite the circumstances? Most certainly, my lord. Very well, then you may proceed, counsel. Alright, let's go. I don't know anything about that there notice board. I just put my hand on it and that's all. Well, don't look at me. I haven't gotten a clue about it. I was doing business with some second years at the time.
Hold it!
When you say you were doing business with them, you mean you were selling them fireworks? Yeah, what else? There's the Priory School and just around the corner, see? Those cheeky little so-and-sos have got a plan to blow their school to kingdom come. So I've been telling on them, letting their teachers know what they're up to. Oh, you have? Yeah, wouldn't want anyone to get hurt, so I let the school know the kids are playing with the dodgy toys. Then, praise the Lord, the teachers take all the fireworks off of them. And then, praise the Lord again, the kids all come back to me to buy more. Everyone's happy, see? What a racket. Of course, and sometimes the teachers give me a little bonus to thank me for letting them know. It's a busy old life selling explosives. Venus is a guileful goddess indeed. Well, telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing, really. I'm never so good at it. Speaking of, someone has something to say.
Excuse me!
Something wrong, Mr. Sandwich? If I said it was, could we just leave it at that? Would that be the end of it? No. Did Miss Venus' statement just now bring something to mind, perhaps? Philosophical thoughts. Deep philosophical thoughts. Let's say there was a great liar, and that great liar said, without batting an eye, telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing. I'm ever so good at it. Would those words at first be a lie too? Or the truth? In which case, she's not a liar. Oh, it's a hellish paradox, that one, don't you think? I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. But, it seems to me you're suggesting Miss Venus has been lying, are you? What are you on about, old man? Trying to cause trouble, are you? Keep on like that. And now wrap your whole body in firecrackers and set them off. That'll give you something to tremble about. You have a startling, disturbing mind behind that sweet and innocent face, young lady. So, Miss Venus has lied in her testimony. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Sandwich? Well, if it means I'll be burning in hellfire for the rest of my days, so be it. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Can you elaborate, please, sir? Oh, but Blattermouth here headed for the room where the gunshot seemed to come from. But there was someone else who crept up the stairs behind him, too. That's right. That rotten liar over there. Do you mean to say that you did in fact betake yourself to the scene of the crime after all? What did I tell you, huh? I said I was good at telling barefaced lies, didn't I? Yes, you mentioned it. Well, that revelation rocked the whole courtroom, didn't it? Who knew firecrackers packed such a punch? So you did indeed visit the scene of the crime, did you, young lady? Good grief. Well, now you come to mention it, I suppose perhaps. I do clearly remember climbing the stairs to the room, yeah. Either you clearly remember it, or you don't. Well, I shall consider a fitting punishment for this perjurious act later. For the time being, you will immediately amend your testimony to reflect the truth. Oh yes, my lord, of course. Maybe I did sneak along behind Gossip and Ab a little peek into the room where it all happened.
Hold it!
You make a habit of lying, do you, Miss Venus? Well, I suppose so. I don't really know, to be fair. If you want my advice, though, I'd take everything I say with a big pinch of salt. Alright, but you did in fact go to the room where the victim was killed on the day in question, didn't you? Oh, please. As if I would. I can't think of anything more terrifying. The truth, please. Well, alright, just a bit then. I mean, a girl my age is curious about stuff, you know? Did you touch anything at the scene? Oh, please. As if I would. I mean, there was a dead body on the floor. The truth, please. Well, alright, just a bit then. I had to look to see if there was anything I could sell. So I did give the place a once-over, but it was nothing to write home about. Right. Now, I hesitate to ask, but you didn't move the notice board by any chance, did you? Oh, please. As if I ever touch anything like that, just a few bits of loose change is all I had. The truth, please. Well, alright then. I thought there might be something worth having underneath it. So I blasted the flippin' thing. Sorry, flipped the blasted thing. You're telling us that you did move the board. I think that did slip out, didn't it? Well, you daft barn pot! I don't believe it. The girl doesn't think. So, did you find anything then? Something that you might have taken perhaps, to sell? Oh please, I shouldn't be so lucky. The truth now! I might have found this old pocket watch under the notice board, I suppose. Oh, there you go. Ah! So it was you, was it? You're the one who took it. Gina? Young lady, may I remind you where you are? That watch there. That was present to Inspector Gregson from the yard for a big case he solved 10 years ago. The professor case, no doubt. The boss used to wind it up every evening without fail, and when he was waiting for his grub to come at the pub. See. I swiped it off him once and a blind me was he upset. Gave me a right earful. Said he hadn't missed a day in the last 10 years polishing it and winding it. It meant the world to him, that watch did. Possibly not the best thing to go diving for then. Alright guys, I'm going to end the video here for today. Thank you all for watching. We'll come back and continue this trial. If anything else, thank you again. Until the next one.